Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Magnum Martell, and welcome back to another episode of Magnums Rants. Well, this one is kind of an episode of Magnums Rants, and kind of a little bit of a channel update, to be totally honest with you, because... oh, excuse me, I have no idea where the fuck that came from. That was weird. Ugh, that was fucking disgusting. Anyway, because I want to just have take a moment to talk to you guys a little bit about my upload schedule and the way I upload and the reason it sometimes takes me so long to upload. This is a subject that has been on my mind quite a lot recently, especially this past week. When was my last upload before today? It was yesterday, where I talked about the new trend among YouTubers, how they say, over half of you watching haven't subscribed, blah blah blah. If you haven't seen the episode of Magnums Rants, go check it out. But before that, it was a week ago where I talked about Doom Eternal having microtransactions now. Well, on that video, I got one particular little comment that was basically the person agreeing with everything that I had to say about those microtransactions, but at the end they added something more. And I have it on screen here for you now. I'm going to read it for you. Quick side note, your scripting in your vids is really good, and I can tell you're very passionate about the subject you're talking about, and in fact, there are two things that I think may be pushing viewers away from your channel. 1, the background footage quality isn't too great, and 2, the mic quality isn't too great either. My suggestion is to try to fix both of these issues, and if you're on PC, both of these issues are, if you're on PC, the first one, try using OBS, it's free and you can capture high quality gameplay, blah blah blah. Okay, so basically it's the person offering me a little bit of advice. You know, I love it when a viewer comes along and offers me some advice. Because if I don't know something, and they tell me, it's something that I can look into that will help me improve my quality. So thank you, commenter, because I do appreciate your advice. Thankfully, the problems that he mentioned is a problem that I've been well aware of for a very long time. I've gotten multiple comments about it over the last year and a half, and thankfully, it is a problem that I have a solution to. At the current state and time, I'm using a very old PC. This PC is from 2011. It's a shitty laptop, and the microphone that I'm currently recording on is built into it, and that's why it has such trash quality, to tell you the truth. This old baby is a fucking clunker. It barely works, it's slow as fuck, but it gets the job done. I do have a new PC, a newer one that I bought fairly recently that is mostly for gaming that I intend to be using as my work PC as well. I'm actually in the process of learning to use a new editing software on that PC that will improve a lot of my problems. And this old PC that I'm using not only affects my microphone quality, but it affects my ability to put together and edit videos. Because while this PC does work, and it has its days where it works like it's brand new, as technology loves to do, more often than not, and more frequently recently, it's been getting a lot slower. I run a very old, outdated editing software on this PC, one that I've been using for around 3 or 4 years now, one that I desperately have been trying to move away from. The problem right now is that I understand how to use it, and my only alternative, much better software, which is much, much harder, I'm still in the process of learning. Once I do have a full grasp of how to use that new software, it's going to make a massive difference, because this PC... well, to render a 15-minute video, it takes almost 2 hours. Because what I have to do with this software is I have to do all my recording, I have to put all of my background footage clips onto it, and then I have to render it. Otherwise, it just saves as a file within the software itself. Basically something that only the software can read instead of the video. When it's done, it becomes a video that is visible, and I have purposefully let this software render at a lower quality than normal. Instead of rendering at the high quality that the video starts in, which is what all my background footage is captured in, I let it render at a lower quality so that it does so a little faster. It takes several hours, and while it's doing so, I can't really do anything else. If this PC were faster and newer and stronger, I'd be able to, like it was a couple years ago, I would be able to do what I used to do, where whenever one video is rendering and waiting to go through, I'm in the middle of working on another one. But this thing is simply so old and so crappy at this point that old Bessie here just don't have much life left in her, and I can't make her struggle to push forward any more than she's willing. These are things that I've addressed in the past, and I'm working on fixing them. It's a very slow process right now. The fact that I work a full-time job in order to support myself, and I do this as a hobby. Then there's the other problem with my upload schedule. The reason that I often don't upload for a week straight. I do not live by myself. I live with some family members. Most of you viewers might not know this, but when I got out of high school, I stayed in my family house to take care of my grandmother, who had fallen ill with dementia, which is basically early onset Alzheimer's, a terrible disease that causes the person afflicted with it to slowly begin to lose their memory. It starts as something simple. They forget things. They can't remember how to do something that they've been doing for 20 years. It eventually reaches the point where they can't take care of themselves, they can't talk, and they don't even know who their family is. I stayed for my grandmother because she raised me, and I wasn't leaving her with my family. I simply did not trust them to actually take care of her. It was very hard on me, and it's part of why I was able to do this so much for so many years, because as I took care of her, I was unemployed. I was here 24/7, doing nothing but taking care of her, feeding her, giving her her medicine, and playing video games in between moments where she needed something, or whenever I wasn't checking on her. It's what caused me to be able to actually work on my channel for so long, and to push forward and keep doing it, because I had so much free time. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not stopping now. There'd be no point, especially given that in the past several months I've seen a massive increase of subscribers, and I just want to say to all those people who have recently subscribed, thank you. It means the world to me that there are people that enjoy my videos, even in their terrible state of low quality crap, of me just screaming into a fucking microphone, that would watch. And there are some viewers who have been tuning into every video that uploads within a day or two of it uploading, and to you guys I'm the most grateful. You're what keeps me going. I get comments like the one I showed you back at the beginning of this video, telling me that I do a great job and that my quality is the only thing holding me back. It means a lot to me, because it's very difficult for me to sit down and do this more often than not. Living with my family, I can't record when they're in the house, because I sit here and I rant and rave and I scream and yell, because that's my personality. That's what I do, and they get angry at me whenever I do it, because to them, I'm a nuisance, to tell you the truth. They care more about themselves than me, and that's how it's always been ever since I was a teenager. The whole point of me working a full-time job is so that I have the money not only to support myself and my channel, but so that I can inevitably find my own place to live and move out. The only thing holding me back there is the fact that I have several cats, and I will not leave them here. One of these cats has been my cat since I was but a child. He is 22 years old. I am 26. So I've had him roughly since I was 4. And I will not leave the old man behind. So between how long it takes me to produce a single 10-15 minute video being several hours, just due to the fact that it takes me an hour and a half to actually record everything, and then the time it takes to render where I can't really do much else, then there's also the fact of my significant other, my girlfriend. She knows that I like to do this, that I do it as a hobby, and when she's around, she's pretty incapable of doing her own thing. We don't currently live together, and I'm hoping that whenever we do, and we're not living with my shitty family, it will be a little different, and she'll be a little more willing to do her own thing and let me work. But it's hard to sit down for a couple hours and just work on these videos whenever she's around, because she wants my attention. You know, you have to spend time with your significant other. And if I spend 2 or 3 hours ranting and raving at the camera, she gets mad. I can't even play a couple matches of games that I play for more than 2 or 3 hours without her deciding she wants me to pay attention to her. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about that in the slightest, you know? I have no problem stopping what I'm doing to spend some time with her. It's just the fact that it's when she's here for several days at a time, I can't even sit down and record. And it's a real pain in the ass that I need to address it and deal with it on my own time. That's what takes me so long to upload, though. I'm either with her, we're either at her place and we're not actually home, or we're out of town for the weekend whenever we have the days off, or we're here together, and that pretty much cuts out my only 2 days off a week the vast majority of the time, other than the rare occasion where I'm like, hey, I'm going to stay home and do stuff this time. And she's like, oh, okay. But that's pretty much why my upload schedule is so erratic. I need to be able to dedicate the majority of a day to getting 2 or 3 videos done. Whereas whenever I finally get the hang of that new editing software that I've been experimenting with, I will not only be able to plug in the new microphone, because this old piece of crap, I failed to mention, short circuits whatever gets plugged into it. Yeah, I bought a $200 microphone, plugged it into this thing once, and it worked for 1-2 videos, and then whenever I tried to use it the next time, it fucking short-circuited. So, on top of the fact that I will be able to use the new PC that is much faster and significantly better, and I'll be able to use a new microphone that is much faster, much higher quality, and I'll have a new editing software that will not only get the job done faster, but I will be able to get another job done while I'm waiting for that job to get done. It's going to be a massive improvement. And granted, the other PC is just a temporary gaming laptop that I paid $1,200 for. It's nothing extra powerful, but it can get the job done, and it's newer, so it's better than old Betsy here, who is on pretty much her last legs. The only thing that's holding me back is that I'm still getting the hang of that new software. Once I have a full grasp of how to do everything I want to do with it, you guys are going to see a huge improvement quality in video. I did one video experimenting with it once already. I never actually uploaded that video. I re-recorded it over here just because I made some mistakes that I couldn't figure out how to fix. Trust me when I tell you, I am working on it. I really am. And then when I have my own place to live and I no longer live here, it'll be significantly easier because I'll be able to record basically whenever the hell I want for much longer periods of time. And even if there's the issue of her not being able to let me do it, there's still the fact that I'd be able to just go to another room and just say, look, I have to do it at that point. And I just want to say I appreciate all you viewers who have recently joined the channel, who have recently been subscribing, who have been watching all of my backlog, and those of you who have been keeping up with the newer content. Your viewership means a lot to me. Every time I see some interaction on one of those videos, a comment or a like, or someone shared it, it makes me very happy. It really does. And I would love to start doing more and more videos. I want to get to the point where I can upload at least twice a day, if possible, instead of once every few days. It's a slow process that Big Daddy Magnum has to work on. But I appreciate you guys who've been watching up to this point. I don't normally do these kinds of channel update videos, but I felt the need to do it because I want you to know how much it means to me. You know, it's been hard for me for the majority of these past few years. And I've had many, many occasions where I've considered just dropping it all and walking away because nothing I did was working. It's become obvious to me now, between the recent growth that I've seen and the comments that I get telling me how much they enjoy my work, that what I'm doing is right. It's just the way I'm doing it that I need to fix. That's all I have to say about it. Thanks for watching, everybody. My name is Magnum Rants. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, and don't forget, if you enjoyed the background footage on this video, you can check it out over on the public playlist on my second channel, Black Air Productions. Don't forget to subscribe, and hey, I'll see you in the next one.